So this is kind of a continuation of the last video, kind of not. But anyway, I hope you're doing well today. For those of you who may have not seen the last video, just talking about the 9 to 5 system. In the last video, I basically was explaining how 9 to 5 is really a slavery system. But here's another one that's big. Okay, your worth is not determined by a 9 to 5. A job does not determine your worth. Let this energy flow. Your worth is not determined by how much you work, how much money that you make. Okay, if you're like me, I'm 34 years old. I was raised by Gen X, and what I know about some of the past, I'm sorry, my mind, what I know about the past generations is they put all their value into a 9 to 5. It was about your job, how much you worked, how long you worked there, how much money you made. And so that was passed on from the boomer generation to Gen X, and it was all about, working a job and staying there 30, 40 years and retiring and, not missing any days, working yourself to the bone. And that was how people identified a lot of their self-worth. I worked at you could call it a retirement home. And a lot of the people there, of course, they were in their 60s, 70s, 80s, some of them even older, and they really valued their length of time at whatever job they worked. A lot of them I talked to, they would say, I was a teacher for 25, 30 years. I was X, Y, and Z for 30 years, and I'm sitting there like, I mean, that's cool and all that, but like, man, you stayed there that long? You didn't want to do anything else? Didn't want to experience anything else? But people were really under the illusion of time, which time itself is an illusion. And so to them, the longer you stayed somewhere, that determined your worth. And so I was taught that myself. I mean, for example, my parents, my mom kind of retired at an earlier age, but my dad's been with the company he works at almost 30 years, and he's going to retire from there. And when I was younger, I thought, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I went to college and I said, I'm going to be an automotive mechanic, and I'm going to do that the rest of my life, and I'm blah, 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 blah. White picket fence and mundane lifestyle is what I thought. And I realized that's not what I really wanted. And I didn't want to keep doing the same thing, and I wanted to experience life in a different way. I just couldn't conform. And so my path has been very windy, and I've had a lot of different jobs because I just couldn't stand to stay somewhere for a long time. I was meant to keep moving and go to all kinds of different places, experience different things, meet different people. Just meant to reach a lot of different people too. But I had to still burn out that old mentality, that idea that I'm supposed to work somewhere for 30, 40 years I had an experience recently where I walked off a job because I stood up for myself, and I went somewhere else to work a temporary job, and there was some stuff going on there, and it ended up being a whole thing, and I stood up for some people that needed stood up for, and ego wanted to be like, well, you know, if you would have just kept quiet, hadn't said nothing, if you would just minded your own business, you know, you wouldn't be just sitting around right now waiting on work. And no, because the path I'm headed on, where I want to be, is I'm working on building an entrepreneurial lifestyle. So what does that entail? Being brave, being courageous, knowing that you can create and manifest that life. You will create and manifest the jobs that you need. You've got to know that you can step out, that you can work for yourself, and you can create the opportunities. You got to face the illusion of uncertainty. So all these things have been preparing me. Life will prepare you for whatever your purpose is or what your heart's desire is. And if your desire is to start a business, that will manifest, but you have to have the courage to start. And I see now how it's manifesting for me, and doors are opening to be able to do that, but I'm still transitioning out of the 9 to 5. You have every right to stand up for yourself and walk out. You have every right, if you're not happy where you're working, to quit that job, to go experience something new. Every right. Your worth is not determined by how long you're there, what you're making, nothing. Like, screw that. You determine your worth and value. And if you're not being treated fairly, walk out. Do what you need to do, what your heart's telling you. If you may be in a situation, you say, well, I can't just leave right now. Well, manifest an opportunity. Manifest something different. I don't know your situation. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not telling people to just up and quit their job. I only say that if that resonates with you, like you know that it's time to make a change. You know you've been treated unfairly, poorly. And I'm telling you that you have the power to change it. You do have the power to take a stand.